The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. The nation's top juveniles face off in trials for our richest race. The Los Alamitos 2 Million on Sunday, November 23rd. Golden State Million winner in force and Ed Burgart Million winner Jess Im Worth It are among the great stars in action. Then on Sunday, November 30th, super sophomores will race in the Southern California Derby Trials with shaking going on at astronomical 1, 2, 3 set to race. It's a November of thrills at Los Alamitos.
And welcome everyone to the Los Alamitos preview show. Thrilled to be joined by the legend Ed Burgart, who will be very busy this weekend here at Los Alamitos. Eddie, tell us what you have going on this weekend.
Well, for an old man, I got to thank you guys for having 10 races on Saturday and 12 on Sunday. I think they're all 10-horse fields except for 1 or 2 races on Sunday, and quite a few long big fields in the thoroughbred races on Saturday. But looking forward to coming back. I know Michael's in a little bit warmer weather, I think, than we are right here in Laughlin, Nevada right now. Raining pretty good here on a Friday afternoon, but Michael's over in the Bahamas emceeing a charity function for the prominent thoroughbred owner, Paul Redham. So I know that it's something that Michael enjoys doing, and Paul likes to have Michael over there. So they got at the bullpen again, once again got hold of me. So I'll be filling in for Michael this weekend. Looking forward to calling the Las Damas handicap here, obviously, on Saturday night. 12 trials for the Los Alamitos 2 Million. I'll tell you, Orlando, all the years I've been calling races, this might be the deepest trial fields that I can recall. You got $1 million winners from Texas, from Oklahoma, from New Mexico, and also here from California, all competing in the finals, in the trials here for the 2 million. So some big races coming up here this weekend.
No doubt about that, Eddie. In fact, 116 juveniles will be in action in the trials. It's the 4th highest number of entries for the trials in the 26-year history of this race. So it's definitely a full card of action on Sunday. Like you mentioned, just about every race is going to have 10 horses in there. And some of the big names that we'll be seeing on trials night, in force, of course, the winner of the Golden State Million Futurity, Jess Im Worth It, who ran second in that race, but also won the Grade 1 Ed Burgart Million. Political Twist, I can't wait to see him run. He's probably one of the top 2-year-olds in New Mexico, won the West Texas Futurity, won the Ruidoso Futurity, and just missed winning the All-American Futurity as well. Apollo Revenge tied for first in the Heritage Place Futurity, and there's so many other good runners that will be in action. Like you said, it's just a loaded group for this big race. And one of the biggest purses that we've had for the 2 million, almost right at the $2 million mark. So can't wait for Sunday night, but of course, can't wait to hear all your calls this weekend as well. Thank you for joining us on the show, and of course, joining us here at Los Al for what should be a very memorable weekend of racing here. So let's get right to it. Let's talk a little bit about the races that we have going on Saturday night, because we always enjoy having your expertise talking about quarter horses, talking about racing in general, and you do have a selection for us on Saturday night. Let's go ahead and bring up the past performances. And I know you have a pick in race number 5, Eddie.
Yeah, race number 5. I've been following this horse since the debut, the number 4 horse, Real Eagle, who gets better and better with each start. I called his race 2 outs ago when I was in California. He had the rail, kind of ducked in at the start and finished out pretty well for third against the class-dropping winner. Then watched the horse's last outing out of post position number 4. Veered in to get bumped early, was leaning inward early, I think out of post position number 3, and had a really big gallop out. Took off the last 50 yards and was loaded with energy around the clubhouse turn. I like the direction Real Eagle is running in. The horse to beat, Serafina Hawk on paper, dropping out of the straight and maiden ranks and drawing the outside post, will probably get overbet, but he's been off 3 months. So because of the lack of recent activity for Serafina Hawk and the improving pattern for Real Eagle, I'm going to give the edge to Real Eagle. I've got it 3-1 in the morning line. I should be able to get that with Serafina Hawk at 2-1, probably going a little bit lower.
Well, I got the replay of this horse's last race. Real Eagle is going to start from post number 3 here, Eddie. So I'll just hit play, and you already made some great comments about the effort. Again, Real Eagle from post number 3.
Yeah, veered in to get bumped early. You can see he's leaning right in on the number 2 horse all the way down to the 8th pole here and still trying to shift inward. Probably start to level off here right past the 16th pole, but watch the energy that Real Eagle will display here right in the last 50 yards. And we'll take a look at the Horse gallops out into the clubhouse turn, accelerates nicely, will go right around the horse from the inside, loaded with energy. So if Real Eagle can maintain a straight course out of the gate here, I think he has a good chance to post the victory here in race number 5.
So definitely a really good look at a real potential difference maker on this Saturday night card, Real Eagle. That again is race number 5, number 4 in that particular race. A lot of these races, by the way, have been brought back from Saturday's action. We got ringed out here at Los Alamitos, and one of the races that we were looking forward to enjoying last weekend, well, it's going to be back this weekend. I am talking about the Las Damas Handicap. So let me bring up the past performances for this race. This was a field of 8 last weekend. We did lose one horse that it did not enter back center of attention. That was going to be a long shot anyway. So we are going to see all the top contenders in this race. There's the Las Damas Handicap, Better Homes and Garden with Elena Andrade. This horse won the Abigail Kawananakoa earlier this year. Silverback, who ran second in the Sound Dash. A lot of the horses from the Sound Dash are back. Curl's Joyful Wagon, who was perhaps the top runner at Remington Park from the mare division, 8-1. You're going to get 8-1 on a horse that had done some really good work in Oklahoma. I Am Candy has been tremendous here at Los Al, 5-2, won the Sound Dash. Jessica Cruz, the reigning AQHA champion H mare, rocking with energy, man. She looks so good in the Charger bar, Eddie, and we just haven't seen her return to that form. She did run a nice third, though, in the Sound Dash. And AJ Born Running completes the field from the outside post, 9-5. The favorite here as far as the odds are concerned. You make the morning line. You think the gamblers are going to go kind of in the direction of AJ Born Running?
Yeah, Orlando, for a couple of reasons. Horses tend to get overbet when they're on the outside. I can understand why people think the horse on the outside has a less chance of getting into trouble, is not going to get squeezed off at the start. AJ Born Running does her best running late in the race, so the outside post should be ideal for her. She was second in the Millie Vessels against a really good winner, Hot Temptation. So I think AJ Born Running is definitely the horse you're going to have to beat here from the outside post. But I can see rocking with energy off her best day. And I Am Candy, who's been a rocket ship out of the gate. I think one of those three will win, but I think the public's going to go for AJ Born Running for the reasons I mentioned.
Yeah, excellent points right there. AJ Born Running loves to run here at Los Alamitos. Doesn't miss any dances when it comes to stakes races in this division, and is a multiple stakes winner here at Los Al. Eduardo Nicasio, by the way, AJ Born Running, when Eduardo won his 100th career stakes win here at Los Alamitos, he did it aboard AJ Born Running. So a very special mare for this tremendous money rider. And of course, the most likely top contender to AJ Born Running will be I Am Candy, who's just been tremendous for the barn of Eddie Willis. We're going to take a quick break, Eddie, and then we'll be back to talk about the huge night on Sunday. We'll be joined as well by Christopher Wade and George Duarte as well. And we're back here with the Los Alamitos preview show. Eddie, we just shot a commercial there talking about the champion of champions in Impressum going for a record-tying third victory in this race. Of course, the record holder, Refrigerator, and you happen to call all three of Refrigerator's victories in the champion of champions. And I remember that third win when he became the only horse to win 3 champion of champions running. All of us in the press box were shocked because even though he wasn't like a big price, he had not won a race that year. And he came through and won a big race. Any memories that you have, Eddie, from your days calling Refrigerator?
Well, the one memory is I think you were an intern at Cal State Fullerton, if I recall, at that time that Refrigerator won his third champion of champions. So you've been around Los Alamitos now working, about 33, 34 years, if I can guess.
Yes, sir.
Refrigerator, I think Bruce Pilkinen rode him, I believe he rode him in his last champion of champions win. And obviously any horse that can win 3 champion of champions stands out in my mind. But I call so many great horses over the years. Taylor Fit winning the champion of champions twice back in 1999 and 2001, beating A. Ransom, who was the winner in 2000. So there's been so many memories going back to the first one I ever call when Sgt. Pepper featuring Denim and Diamonds hooked up and Denim and Diamonds won. So we could talk on and on about the history of the champion of champions, First Down Dash, Gold Coast Express. You go right down the line, and all the big names in quarter horse racing basically have won the Champion of Champions or running the Champion of Champions.
Yeah, definitely. One of the memories that I have about that race was Blaine Stronnable would not stop laughing. I mean, because he was just so overjoyed with that victory of Refrigerator. I remember that year it was Down with Dead. Remember Down with Dead, the top mare? She was probably like she ended up being the world champion that year, but she had such a big season. She may have been the favorite in the Champion of Champions before Refrigerator spoiled the party.
I think Charlie Bloomquist trained Down with Dead, and John Krieger was riding, if I recall, the combination. So my memory's not completely gone yet.
Well, definitely not. You are as sharp as they come. We are going to be joined now. I'd like to bring to the show Christopher Wade, George Duarte, to talk about the trials that we have going on. How are you doing, George?
I'm doing good. It was a long day, but it was a pleasure to do these races. I think they're really deep. I think most races have 3-4 contenders, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, and you're referring to the fact that you do the comments for the Nightlines program. 116, I mentioned, were in the trials, the fourth highest number that we've ever had in the trials to the Los Alamitos 2 million Futurity. Chris, you're going to be on the broadcast talking about each and every one of these races. You've been doing that job for a very long time, several decades now. Looking forward to the weekend, right?
Well, it's going to be a great weekend of racing. We got 10 races on Saturday night with Los Alamos closing out the show on race 10. Of course, we got 12 trials, and each and every race has a quality and multiple runners in each and every start. We got horses coming from all over the country. Some of the top horses, multiple winners and $1 million winners, $1 million race winners. So it's a great weekend of racing, and one of the best deuce groupings of horses I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't wait for Sunday. I know Eddie's gotta get in his car and drive out here from Laughlin pretty soon. So we're gonna talk about his selection on the Sunday card. And here it is. It's gonna be in race number 4, right, Eddie?
Yeah, I'm looking for a little bit of a price. I know that AJ Cyclone, who ran third in the Golden State Million, is going to be the favorite, maybe Gloria than my 5-2 morning line. But the horse I've been following all year, and I said I can't wait for Morningstar K to finally go 400 yards. And Morningstar K finally gets the 400-yard distance. I think once we see the replay of Morningstar K's last outing, people will get an idea that this is a 2-year-old that wants to run a lot further. And the post position's a good draw. Center of attention drawn to the inside of Morningstar K's not quick out of the gate. So Morningstar K, in my opinion, should get the jump on center of attention early. I think the horse to the outside, Ultra Shiny, is not quite classy enough and not quite strong enough to go 400 yards. So Morningstar K should be able to kick away from those two pretty handily. And it's just a matter of whether HA Cyclone comes back and runs the same race as it did in the Golden State Million. If HA Cyclone runs that race, I don't know if Morningstar K can win, but I'll take my chances at what should be a fairly good price at post time, 5 or 6 to 1.
Okay, let me bring up that race that you're referring to, Eddie. This will be on October 11th, race number 7. There it is. And Morningstar K will start from post number 4. Here, the rider, Martin Arriaga, for trainer Juan Alaman.
Okay, right here you can see Morningstar K kind of dropped the head of the start, got bumped from both sides away from the gate. It'll get pushed inward here. Had 1 horse speed past the 8th post, probably about 2 lengths behind the leader. But watch Morningstar K here, the final 80 yards, just take off and load it with run here across the wire. That was going a much shorter distance. Now going the distance of 400 yards. I think you're going to see vast improvement from Morningstar K. Again, the class is the question, whether Morningstar K has the class to beat HA Cyclone, but I certainly like the videotape replay of what we saw and the added distance. I think you're looking at a pretty good price play here in Morningstar K.
Yeah, you certainly are not shying away from a challenge with your runner going against AJ Cyclone Fancy Up, who qualified to the PCQHRA Breeders' Futurity. But that also means you'll get a nice little price and maybe get a nice profit here when Morningstar K gets to the finish line first on a Sunday night. Thank you so much, Eddie. Like I mentioned, I know you have to go get on board and start traveling, making your way out here to California. We wish you a very safe trip and can't wait to see you here at Los Alamitos.
Thanks, Orlando. Much easier to doing the show here than at Barstow in my car with the dog in the back seat. So this worked out much better for me.
Thank you. I really appreciate that as well. Thank you. Take care, huh?
All right. Thanks a lot.
Well, gentlemen, it's time to talk about the trials to the Los Alamitos 2 million Futurity. And we'll spend a few minutes on each trial because we got a ton of them. Let's start with race number 1, El Dictator, 7:05 on the morning line. What a season he's had. 4 wins from 5 starts, runs second in the Governor's Cup Futurity, won the outside handicap by a nose. He'll be definitely one of the top contenders and draws an early trial, just like how he did on the night of the Governor's Cup Futurity. I think he was one of the early first, maybe even the first trial as he went on to qualify. Terry Mesu, though, a very interesting runner. And Chris, you're all over this horse, Terry Mesu. He's your top selection for the Sunday night card, right?
Yeah, he's my top choice. He's my top choice when he won his last race, and he won well. He won by a neck, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Had a stack of trouble away from the gate. He broke slow, was bumped back, and absolutely flew late. He's a nice-sized individual and was finishing very well on his own to get up by a neck, and he finished very strongly and galloped out well. So with everything factored in, trouble track fairing, he's got my top number, and steadily improving. Only 4 lifetime starts. He's got a big look at the outcome. Of course, El Dictator just keeps giving you everything he's got. He's always there or thereabouts. He won the All-Sci and has a big look at the outcome. Has a probable deserved favorite. And, of course, the 5's got to look at the outcome, high octane as well. So I'm going to give it a 4, 5, and the 2 there in that first leg.
Here's race number 10 on November the 2nd. Terry Mesu will start from post number 3. He is the number 5 horse in this race. I'll go ahead and hit play. Chris?
Yeah, he broke slow. He was bumped a number of times there away from the gate and slow on the stride, but he's a nice-sized individual, has a wide path. You can see he's just being hand-rode, and he's doing everything here in this race on his own, and he won with run left in the tank, and he galloped off very, very well. He's a nice-sized individual, wants every inch of 400 yards, and he won by a neck, and he had a length and a quarter and or more of trouble along the way with that bad start and that multiple bumping incidents. So very impressive performance, and if he gets away clean, he's got a big look at the outcome in that little lifter on Deuce night.
Yeah, a very impressive effort. I remember watching the race live, and we just couldn't believe how much ground he made after all that early trouble there for trainer Kelly Castañeda. Juan Pulido up 4 wins from only 11 mounts this year for Juan Pulido. And, he had a big night on Golden State Million Trials night. A couple of other runners here. The lady is a vamp starting from the outside post. She's qualified to a couple of futurities this year. Here's race number 2. Another Golden State Million Futurity finalist, Dr. Make It Sweet. Just FYI, the number 2 horse has 6-1. Dominated up in Oregon and Washington. Toby Sis with new connections. Jesus Nunez now the trainer. Toby Sis ran second in the PCQ-HRA Breeders' Futurity. A couple of other horses that we've talked about on this show. SG, Jacob J, Cowboy Country 1, 2, 3. Duda Cartel on the outside. And George, what do you think that post position does for Duda Cartel after this horse posted the fastest qualifying time to the Golden State Million? Paul Jones said how the Red Sea parted for this horse, and that made all the difference in the world. He had all that running room. Now drawing the outside, he should have all that running room as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, early in his career, I would have been worried about the outside post of him ducking out, but his last 2 starts, he's gotten really professional, and he's maintained a straight path in both of them. So the outside post doesn't worry me. What worries me is him making start number 10 versus all these other runners that they're a lot more fresh, and that's the only thing I think can get him is just a longer campaign. But I do respect him. I expect him to run well, and I think the outside post is not a problem for him.
Yeah, he's been a runner that has performed really well in trials, a little bit better than he has performed in the finals. So he's had some little bit of time. You know, he's got almost a month since he ran in the Golden State Million final. Moving on to race number 3. We have another Grade 1 finalist here in Dr. America's Dynasty, ran 4th to stablemate Apolli Revenge in the Heritage Place. Jarvis V, who ran 4th. I thought Jarvis V was going to run a huge race in the outside. Ended up finishing 4th. never really quite challenged El Dictator or Notorious. Fireworks over Paris, a nice winner in his last out. And SMI Valentine here, surprising winner of the PCQHRA Breeders' Futurity, did at 20-1 odds. Chris, any thoughts on this field? Maybe even SMI Valentine?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a slight look to Fireworks over Paris. Horse won well out time, earned a pretty good figure. And, of course, SMI Valentine won that at stakes race at a big price there, right at the morning line at 21-1. Draws that same outside post again, so we know he can handle it, earned a pretty good figure. And, of course, the 3 Jarvis was a big disappointment on our numbers last time. But if he rebounds the prior effort when breaking slow and drifting out and then finishing very, very well, if he can rebound to that effort 2 back, after disappointing this last time, he can be a factor in this third affair.
Let's move on to race number 4. We talked a little bit about this race here with Ed Burgart giving us this top selection in for the night with number 8, Morningstar K. Race number 5. George, you're up to bat. You have a selection here.
Yeah, I'm going right back to the well with CD Fair Fire. I think he caught one of the weaker trials. There's a lot of deep ones, and he avoided those. And I really liked how he win. I mean, when we talked about him last time, I said that this is the one I think Jaime was high on the most, and came off that October 4th effort in the trial for the Golden State. I thought did everything, ran well, and then comes back from the rail, and then I thought he was confidently handled and finished well. So to prevail over a filly that I think is pretty good in Check and Eagle. Draws the inside again, which is not an issue for me because he's run well from the inside. Stone Cold is not that quick early, and YouTuber is a shipper first time under the lights. So I think he's going to get a good start. And I just don't think there's that many horses in here that can kick on with him. And I just think he's going to get. I think the 4-1 is accurate by Ed. I think that's what I'm going to get, and that's a horse I'm going to single in anything I can.
Okay, George, here's the replay from CD Favorite Fire's last out, race number 8 on October 25th. And you'll see Jaime Gomez's gold yellow stick, Silks, from post number 1.
Yeah, he comes away mid-pack, but you just see him. He really gets going towards the end of the race, and he's doing his best running late. And also, I think Jaime was just using this as a prep. He wanted to make sure he was plenty fit for these trials, so that's what makes me like more. I like that. I mean, he did drift out late, but he finished full run. He straight out well. I'm not worried about the drifting. I think he's primed for this race. I think that's going to be a career effort from him, and I like the price that I'm going to get.
Yeah, Jaime Gomez has had a lot of success in the trials for the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity over the years, and like you mentioned, this runner appears to be his best chance to get back into the 2 million final. CD Favorite Fire, that's George Duarte's selection. Here's race number 6. AJ Remember Me, who is also coming out of the Asai handicap, draws the rail at 4-1 with those connections, Pulido and Castañeda. Famous Talk. What do you guys like about Famous Talk? I know George put him in his top 3. Chris, did you do as well?
I got him in my 4th numbers there in tonight's 6th event. I'm going to give, of course, the look to Jess I'm Worth It. This horse has the blinkers and was a very, very good second in that last affair, the Golden State Futurity.
George, you're pretty high on Famous Talk as a long shot candidate.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the breeding. Little talks. I always like a One Famous Eagle. I mean, they use that November 1st as a prep. You have to assume. I thought he did everything right, and then now gets that added yardage that should be not a problem because he's already handled it before. And this field, I mean, the main threat for him for the top 2 would be AJ Remember Me, but he draws the rail, so he could get some trouble in there, and then Famous Talk can either challenge. I don't think he can challenge for the win. I think Jess I'm Worth It is the best finisher on the grounds as a 2-year-old. I think there's nobody that's going to outfinish Jess I'm Worth It. It's just how well he gets out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, every single time he's raced, he breaks a little bit behind, except for that maiden race, and he makes that big late push late. And like you mentioned, George, he just couldn't get close enough to enforce, who broke super on the out of the Golden State Million Futurity. But if you look at his previous two outings, he was sixth in his trial and ended up winning, catching enforce. And in the Edberg Million, amazing performance from the rail, broke eighth and ended up winning the Edberg Million Futurity. So Jess Im Worth It, definitely one of the top contenders to advance to the Los Alamitos 2 million. And it's always, always difficult to make the three big futurities here at Los Alamitos. He's already made both of the first two. We'll see if he can make it three in the 2 million. Let's move on to race number 7. Midnight Cowboy 123. The nice contender here. And a Poly Revenge, a filly that was entered in the trials for the Golden State Million Futurity after winning all three of her stars at Remington Park, was scratched from that race, but good to see her back in action here. Midnight Cowboy 123 with trainer Justin Joyner. Any horse that you give a little bit of a play here with some good price odds, George?
Yeah, that's Midnight Cowboy 123. I was pretty shocked at that morning line. I thought he would be their second or third choice in this field. I mean, yeah, Strictly does run through a Poly Revenge, but I mean, Midnight Cowboy has ran well. He ran in that race at Lone Star. There's 2 next out winners. The winner came back to qualified for the final. And I mean, there's a lot of maidens in this race. I'm surprised that he would be 10 to 1. And with Francisco Calderon jumping aboard, so I mean, he has to be the play because you never know how a horse is going to handle the outside post. Has that long layoff. I know it did work well. She has plenty of talent. It's just that long layoff, first time 400. There's a lot of reasons she can easily lose, and I think Midnight Cowboy is the play in that race because, I mean, at 10 to 1, it's just you have to. It's auto play for me. I mean, I think he's going to be personally 3 to 1, 4 to 1, but in the pick fours, he will be maybe overlooked, and I'm going to try to take advantage of that.
Yeah, you heard it here first. George Duarte is going to be backing Midnight Cowboy 123 in race number 7. Moving on to race 8, and right on the top, right there, the number 1 horse and 4, 625. First time that he's raced from the rail. How big of a difference will that make, George?
It's a concern for me because he broke in on the trial, and then he broke in, even though he broke super in that. He was up 3/4 instantly, but he did break in. So that's the only concern is that. And then he also draws into a really fast breaker in Champions Run. So that is a concern, especially if you're going to take such a short price. For me in the pick four, I can't single him because there's always that chance that he breaks into the rail and then they lug in the gap and get beat. And especially how much the other horse going to be paying in the pick fours compared to him, I have to spread in that race. I mean, I was a big fan of him. I picked him in the Golden State Million. I just do not like his post row.
Chris?
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. Enforce on numbers, definitely the one to be. So very impressive in that Golden State Million Futurity. But you got to give a little bit of a look there to Surprise Temptation. This horse earned a pretty good figure on my charts. And, of course, the speeds are drawn up against Enforce Champions Run is pretty quick, and that will be right there throughout.
Yeah, you're getting 5 to 2 on the morning line odds for Surprise Temptation. So there are definitely things that people will be playing this runner. And maybe it is that thought, like George was mentioning, about Enforce being along the rail. One thing about Enforce, I mean, the family is, we've mentioned it many, many times. But how about the fact that he's looking to become the 5th brother from this group to qualify to the 2 million Futurity? Powerful Favorite made it. Run for Your Life made it. Bomb Cyclone won it. Cyber Attack won it. And now Enforce looking to become the 5th from that family to get into the hardest race to qualify to here at Los Alamitos. So it is just simply amazing what Favorite Cartel and Remember Me Rose continue to produce here in the quarter horse industry. So
Yes.
best of luck to Enforce. Best of luck to this entire group. Let's move along here to race number 9. Caribbean. Chris, Caribbean, 20-1.
Caribbean. Well, I'm
I'll
giving
put your
that
bets,
horse.
Chris, if you want.
Giving that horse so many chances. I think she's a little in over her head tonight, but could grab a slice underneath exotic pie to spice things up. But it's a pretty good group of runners in this affair. But yeah, it's one of those horses that it just keeps on. There was a horse last week that I overlooked, and I gave the horse multiple chances, and I didn't give it the time. The horse got the job done in Lucky Lifetime start number 11, but that's just the way it goes. But this is a closely matched affair. I'm going to give it a slight look to it. It's a Valentine there in this event, number 7.
Yeah, that horse got a nice winning streak there, won 4 in a row before running 4th to Effortless Favorite in the All-American Juvenile. And I believe Effortless Favorite is the horse that did heat it with a Poly Revenge in the Heritage Place Futurity.
Yes.
So running 4th to that runner, a runner that is a Grade 1 winner. It's a good Valentine, definitely a talented horse. And this horse did work here at Los Al back on November 5th, went 350 yards in 18.4 for James J. Gonzalez II. Ross Rourke, that name sounds familiar. He won the Los Alamitos Winter Derby with Brown Coffee last year. He was one of the owners of that Grade 1 winner. Here's the rest of the field here. The solid field, Who's the V, finished 5th in the Golden State Futurity, also part of this group. Chris, if Caribbean wins, oh my. Let's move on to race number 10 here. Viper, Ed Burgart Futurity finalists. A political reason. A lot of our handicappers are going to be backing a political reason for one reason or another. Valentin Zamudio and Ruben Lozano, just beautifully bred, a political Jess out of Reason to Fly MV, a Grade 1 winner here at Los Al at 400 yards, beat the mares in the Millie Vessels during her 3-year-old campaign. WR Desperado and Dragon Link. Dragon Link ran 7th in the All-American Futurity. WR Desperado debuted here with a little bit of a trouble 4th place finisher. What do you think his chances are, George?
He's my top pick in this race. I had to go with him. I'm hoping Justin Joyner's horses bounce back, as you can see, picking 2 of them. He had a lot of trouble to my benefit since Seven Summers helped me out there in the pick 6. But I thought he was finishing well. He ran his races prior were really, really good. I mean, the race on June 27th would easily beat this field. Dragon Link, I respect. I'm surprised he made him the favorite, considering he just won by a neck in that maiden race. But like Ed doesn't miss anything, and I think he saw what I saw. I thought Cardenas was pretty confident that he was going to win that race against a decent horse in Special Session. Also Bandita from the outside. I think it's between those 3. And but for me, I'm gonna go with Desperado, the breeding. I wouldn't be surprised if this horse posts a really good time.
And Bandita, 8-1, draws the outside, has had success here at Los Alamitos with a couple of victories. He's just coming off of just a tough 7th place finish in the outside handicap, which, by the way, it's sort of like the constellation for the Golden State Million Futurity. A lot of those horses that didn't quite make it to the final did come back and ran in the outside, so that was a tough group.
Yeah, you're going to get prices on Sunday night on good horses, because there's a lot of races like that race. There's 5, 6 horses that are really good horses that I would enjoy to own, and that's why you're going to get prices on them that you would not normally get.
Moving on to race 11. This one has like a really interesting matchup between a filly and a gelding here on the outside. Beautiful. We know Beautiful. She was just lights out in the trials to the Golden State Million Futurity, the most impressive trial winner of that night, winning by 3 lengths. broke through the gate in the Golden State Million Futurity, and just wasn't the same. Still broke solid, but just didn't have enough at the end. That mistake took a lot out of her. But man, what she has done earlier this year, you just cannot ignore. And then Hitman V. We all expected him to run big his second out, and he did just that, winning by a length and a half. I'll start with you, Chris. Who did you go with between Beautiful and Hitman V?
I gave the edge to Hitman V. This is a horse that was my previous show selection last time. Got 6-5, not 3-5. We were expecting much lower price, but horse to the inside got bet late to give this horse the second choice or 6-5, and just broke on the lead and just was striding out so very, very strong. I think the final eighth was something like 9:42 or something amazing. So the horse has a ton of talent and only a couple lifetime starts. Was very impressive in the debut, and it was a big worker prior. So the ability is there, connections are there. Horse was starting out very, very strongly. Drawn next horse that he has to beat. The filly, I gave her a big look there in that last affair, but she got rambunctious, broke through the gate, and took everything out of herself. But she's got the talent. She was unbeaten prior, and she's just so very talented. So if she rebounds, mind her manners in the gate, she's got to look as my second choice. So I'm going to give it a 9-8 there in that 11th affair.
George, is this a race where you just have to take a stand? You just have to say, okay, I like either one of these, or I'm going to go with a different way, but you just cannot play more than one horse in this race?
In the pick fours, I would say so. I mean, because you're just doubling your price, but you're not really doubling the payout. Is what that makes any sense. Because that's strictly basically anybody's going to use. If you're gonna spread, then you might as well spread against them, because you're going to get 30-1 on your money on whoever else would win. It doesn't matter who it is, because everybody's only going too deep or singling. For me, I went with Beautiful. She won the post parade in the Golden State Million, but I think she was just too antsy, too full of energy, and then she couldn't wait to get out of the gate. And unfortunately, she got out of the gate before the gate opened, and she had to be reloaded. She came away well, showed that she still had all that, still had energy. She came away well. She was there, but I mean, she used up that energy on the post parade and breaking through the gate. I think they're gonna have her a little more calm for this trial. And Hitman V, to me, he has the most upside of any horse in this field. I mean, in this whole entire night, is just that he's never been from the outside. He's only ran twice. I mean, in the lone start from the outside, he broke out of quite a few paths, and now he's going to be farther out. I'm just concerned that he might lug out to that outer rail, and you cannot make that kind of mistake against a horse the caliber of Beautiful. Beautiful will enjoy that wide path, show that big stride of hers, and win easily. So that's the reason. If they were switched, I would like Hitman V, because I think Beautiful will break good, would keep Hitman V in maintaining a straight path, would give him a target to close into, and I think that would have really, really helped him. I just think that his outside post is just there's too much possibility of him breaking out sharply, and maybe not even being as good as Beautiful. You don't know. So then you're going to take a short price on and having to overcome those two hurdles, in my opinion.
So if Hitman V just had one more start, maybe from post number 8, that might change your whole outlook on this race.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of horses that we've seen from like High Octane. Every time he breaks from the outside, he's always lugging out. And I'm not going to take a short price on a horse that already's done it once. I mean, his stride is magnificent. I mean, he is, like I said, the horse with the highest upside in this entire card. I just don't like that post.
I went with Chris. I went with Hitman V as my top selection. It was very, very tough. But like you said, George, just the potential of Hitman V, I decided to kind of roll with that. But you could be absolutely right on every single thing that you mentioned. Race 12, this is the last trial. And one of the horses that I'm most excited to see, Political Twist. They've been very patient with him. They brought him in early. I thought he was maybe going to go into trials for the Golden State Million, but they are putting all their eggs as far as this current stay at Los Al in the big basket of the Los Alamitos 2 million Futurity. Gave him a nice work 3 weeks ago. So they've been very determined in what they want to do, and is to get him to be at his very best on this night, this Sunday night, Political Twist. Both of you guys agree as the top selection in this one?
Yes, Political Twist is definitely the one to beat there in the finale.
But there is, like I said about the death of this card. I mean, RR Bluesman did everything right in that first start for Flores, and you can name as much as Remember Rose is gonna make the 2 million. There's how many Flores that he's gotten from New Mexico that have gone on to have win a bunch of stakes and do great. He thrives with these horses that he gets from over there, and this horse did nothing wrong in that maiden win. Is bred to go the distance out of that Amor LeBlue. That's a horse that I would have to use, especially for a horse that you're going to take 3 to 5 on a horse that's never ran under the lights. They can easily break slow. Anything can go wrong, especially at that lower price. I have to use RR Bluesman as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, is that you're going to get some big prices on, like you mentioned, George, on some really high quality runners. Let's take a look at our very popular consensus selections. We've talked about these races. Now we're just pretty much going to take a look at who we're selecting. The 5 handicappers, El Príncipe, who's has been red hot during the second half of the year, Chris Wade, George Duarte, Professor G, Joey Quarters, and of course on the very far right-hand side, those are the total points. The opening race, El Dictator just about swept the card. Terry Massou, Chris Wade's selection of the night, is his top pick, of course, in race number 1. George and I both had Terry Massou here as our second selection. You just very confident about El Dictator, or do you think there is a chance there for Terry Massou, George?
Oh, there's definitely a chance for Terry Massou to win. I just like how confident Cervantes rides El Dictator. I think he thinks really highly of him, and he won. I mean, he won by nose, but if you just look at how Armando rode him, he rode him really confident. So I think there's still more to give there, and I think that's what gives him the edge.
Toby Sis is the consensus selection here in race number 2 with 16 points. Kind of spread out between, very closely spread out between Dr. Make It Sweet, Judah Cartel, and SG Jacob J, who was the top pick for Joey Quarters. And of course, SG Jacob J, trained by Dan Farias. And Joey Quarters has horses with Dan. So he knows, he's well aware of what happens in that barn. So Jacob J must be training great if Joey Quarters is picking him on top. SMI Valentine, the Grade 2 winner, just edges out DR America's Dynasty in race number 3, 14 points to 13 points. AJ Cyclone is the overwhelming selection with 23 points. That's going to suit Ed Burgart just fine. Forget about Morningstar K. Play everybody else, and Ed Burgart is going to play Morningstar K as the top pick. Dr. Stone Cold at 14 points. Brother Ray at 11 points. Hell on Wheels, 7 points. Kind of a similar thing there for, that can't be right. No, Brother Ray with 11 points, but CD Favorite Fire should also have 11 points there. So we'll get that fixed for when we actually print the program. CD Favorite Fire, 11 points as well with Brother Ray. Just I'm Worth It, top pick here with 20 points. AJ Remember Me with 10. And Famous Talk with 9 points. Holy Revenge gets 3 top selections. Midnight Cowboy, George mentioned and talked about it in depth. Midnight Cowboy is his top pick. Very few horses swept, and Force is the only one, in fact, I believe, 25 points. But George, you do feel that Surprise Temptation could surprise, right?
Yeah, and Champions Run. I mean, I had to go on Force on top because he should win as long as he breaks decently. It's just there's always that possibility from the rail that you duck in a little too far.
Now, we didn't talk too much about the ninth race here with It's a Good Valentine. George, you have Who's the V on top. Any more info on this horse?
Yeah, he's the second choice. I thought he'd done nothing wrong in his trial. He won by a length and a quarter, and I thought he ran better than looked in the final. He just didn't have any room. He was kind of in tight because of Jess Im Worth It drifting in, and he had more to give. I think he could have easily ran third if he had clear sailing, and you're going to get second choice because Burgart has him second on the morning line. I respect as a good Valentine. I just another one that's first time under the lights could make a misstep. And Who's the V is going to. I know Who's the V is going to run good. It's just whether It's a Good Valentine is going to run even better.
And Chris, you have a Political Reason as your top selection in the 10th race.
Yes, I'm going to give the horse to beat there in that 10th race. He's got a big look. He's just so very talented, and I'm going to give him a chance there in that affair.
That was one of the closest races with Dragon Link with 14, WR Desperado with 11, Bandita with 10, and A Political Reason with 8 points. And we were so split in that 11th race, and it shows in the consensus. Beautiful with 21 points, but Hitman V with 19 points. And everybody across the board picked one or the other as their top selection, and the other one was their second selection. So very interesting duel there between Beautiful, who's shown it, and Hitman V, who could show it. So that's going to be kind of fun to watch race 11. And in the final race, I was surprised. El Príncipe is going with Notorious as his top pick. Instead of Political Twist, that's the only one that did not pick Political Twist on top. But Chris Wade and George Duarte both went with RR Bluesman as the second horse in the consensus. George, any quick comments on Special Session, who you have as your third pick?
Yeah, I mean, he faced Dragon Link, who people like in the 10th trial, and I thought he ran fine. He obviously needed the race. He hasn't ran since June. Was a scratch, I think, in September. So I think Chris has been taking his time. He knows how to get him ready for these 2 million. I think that's what. Besides the New Mexico races, this is the one he always points to. His main man recently, Ayala, is on board. Draws the outside. He should get a good trip, and I know he wants the 400 yards. So I think he's going to run well, especially at the 15-1 morning line.
Well, that's a look at the consensus page here for Sunday's big night of trials. Once again, first post will be 5:05 p.m. and 12 races on tap. Got to remind everyone we will have 3 Pick Fours on Sunday night, starting with races 1, 5, and race number 9. 3 Pick Fours. Should be a great night of wagering, great night of enjoying the fastest horses in the world, and we have some outstanding 2-year-olds in action here. Final word, Chris.
Great weekend of racing, and we got the 3 Pick Fours. Don't save that $12 on the Pick Four. It could come back to hurt you rather badly. It's happened to me a number of times. Saved $16 and cost myself $9.84, but the Pick Four is the best bets all night racing here at Los Alamitos. A nice size pool. Any kind of price pumps your return immensely.
So what that means that you're playing Caribbean. You're adding Caribbean to your ticket. That's what that means. George, one final word?
Saturday. Don't sleep on Saturday's card. I thought it was really good. There's value. I like Cyberstar. If there's a horse you want, again, I gave her out last time, got scratched. I like her in that race. I think it's 9-2 morning line. And then for Sunday, I just demand value on your picks. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good horses at a lot of good value. So if your horse gets overbet, sometimes it's just better off to find the horse that is not getting overbet that is talented. You're going to get prices on really talented runners. You're going to be like, oh, I can't believe I didn't play that horse at 6-1. And so just look at the board. Let the board be your guide sometimes, and just make sure you're playing horses at good prices. And since it's been raining, I would pay attention to how the track's playing. See if the inside's faster. See the outside. What's doing well. What connections are doing well, and just keep that in mind for the later races.
A lot of good advice by our 2 pros here, Chris Wade and George Duarte. Thank you both, and thank you to all of our viewers. Really appreciate you taking time to catch the action here on the Los Alamitos Preview Show. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy a big weekend of quarter horse racing. Bye-bye, everyone.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. The nation's top juveniles face off in trials for our richest race. The Los Alamitos 2 Million on Sunday, November 23rd. Golden State Million winner in force and Ed Burgart Million winner Jess Im Worth It are among the great stars in action. Then on Sunday, November 30th, Super Sophomores will race in the Southern California Derby Trials with shaking going on at astronomical 1, 2, 3 set to race. It's a November of thrills at Los Alamitos.